Hey, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatham, Kwam Yasharala, double honors to all the elders, the men out here pushing this word, pushing this truth, um, the sisters who support their husbands, who are modest, who are doing their best to stay true to this word. I just want to hit you up with a real quick lesson, nothing real deep, nothing real major, but just something to kind of, you know, get your day going, get your day started, um, and really keep you in this fight, man, because it is a fight and we at war. We behind enemy lines, so we got to keep on pressing, and we got to keep on encouraging one another to stay 10 toes down in this game, man. In this truth, stay 10 toes down, stay diligent, stay active, right? Don't get complacent, don't get relaxed, because our adversary walks around like a lion looking to see who he can devour, and that's real. So I'm not gonna hold you long. Just really want to, like I said, hit you off with a quick class. First script that I want to pull is going to be Revelation 3:16, and it reads. In fact, I'll start at 15. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 15. It says, "I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot." All right. So this is red letter. This is Yahushua talking. He said, "I know your works. You neither cold nor hot, right? You neither either just like not in the truth at all, right? You know that you're an Israelite, right? You know who you come from, right? You know that we have to keep these laws, right? So you're not cold, right? Because you do know you are aware, but you're not hot, right? You're not on fire. You're not fervent, right? You're not really studying. You're not teaching your brothers, right? You just sitting on the couch, you just sidelining, you watching the game, you watching everything happen. So you're not cold, you're not hot. It says, "I would that thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth." Right? So Yahweh is saying, look, man, I wish that you were either one or the other, right? That you wasn't just riding the line. That you either, hey, I'm not with it, whatever it is, right? Or that you was on fire, that you was pushing this, right? That you was out on the corners with your brothers, right? That you was trying to wake up your people. He said, "I wish you was hot, right? But because you're not hot, right, and you're not even cold, you're lukewarm. Again, you're just riding the fence, right? You know the truth. You ain't really keeping no laws, right? You're not full off into Christianity, but you just there right in the middle, right? He said, because you just right in the middle, I'm gonna spew you out of my mouth, right? That's what Yahweh Shai said. So now, Israel, it's time for, like I said, even if you kind of got a little bit lax for a minute, or you just kind of felt like, man, life was kind of taking you through it. We know that we are going to go through things. We know that we got to go through the fire. We know that we got to go through the furnace, but we got to keep on pushing. We got to stay hot. We got to stay in the fight, right? And that's really what my lesson is about today. It's about choosing, right? It's making that choice, right? It's making that choice that, even though I'm going through something, even though it feels like the world is at me right now, even though it feels like all hell is coming up against me, people in my own household, you know, ain't rocking with what I'm rocking with. My own family members look at me like I'm a weirdo, right? It's saying that you gotta stay hot, right? And that's what we gotta do. We gotta stay hot. So, and staying hot and staying true, I want to bring out this. This is the book of Romans. I'm going to grab Romans 15 and 4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning." So whatever is written before, right? This whole book, first of all, this whole road, right? We got to take the whole thing. We got to take the Torah, right? We got to take the Tanakh. We got to take it all, right? The whole book, right? The Gospels, right? um, the poetry. We got to take the whole book, right? For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, right? Because that's what it is. That's how we learn, right? To keep on pressing on. That's how we learn to keep on going, right? Because there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that's happened before is happening again, right? We're going through the same things over and over and over again, right? So this book, everything that was written, we're supposed to learn from it. We're supposed to learn to see how, our forefathers dealt with different situations. We're supposed to learn to see how our forefathers persisted, how they kept on going, right? And even learn to see what it was that caused our destruction, that caused our demise, that got us into the place to where we're at right now, right? Everything that was written aforetime was written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope, right? So that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. So, like when we read, we see a lot of things in the scriptures. We know where we're at, right? But so, where's the hope? Let me give you a hope. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, and I start at verse 3. Book of Romans 9 and verse 3. It says, "For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants," right? So we know that the promises pertain to us. We know that we're not going to be in this state forever. We know that we are going to come out of this, right? That's what we're hoping for. That's why we keep on persisting. That's why we keep on looking for our salvation, right? Because our salvation is closer than when we first believed. You got to understand that, Israel. Yes, things look bleak, but you know what? We're seeing prophecy happen all around us on a daily basis. When you read this book, when you get an understanding of this book, you can see, you start to look at the world through a different lens, right? You're no longer looking through the eyes of when you was in the world, or when you was in whatever religion that you may have been in, right? Once you come back to yourself, right? Once you find out who you are, once you find out that this book really pertains to you, to your family, right? You start to see things differently, right? And we know that we got hope, right? We're waiting. We're patiently waiting, right? But I don't want to get too detracted. So what was written aforetime was written for our learning and was written for our understanding. So it's written for our learning. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. I'm trying to be quick. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19. All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 19. It says, "I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live." Right? So what was written aforetime was written for our learning, was written for our understanding. So death and life has been put before us, right? And we're told to choose, right? Our forefathers, us, we were told to choose. He said, I'm calling heaven and earth to bear record against you this day, right? To bear record against you this day. He said, I'm setting before you life and death. Choose life. See, Israel, we got to choose life. With everything that's going on today, like I said, is so much temptation that's out there, right? To pull us away, right? To get us off of our square. And it seems like, as soon as when we come into this truth and we be on fire, right? Then come all the distractions, all of the things to, get in our head and, get us sidetracked. And this wasn't in my notes, but I'm gonna grab it. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6. Is it 6 that I want? Yeah, Ecclesiasticus chapter 6. No. Salakia. I don't want chapter 6. Salakia. I want chapter 2. This is book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha chapter 2, verse 1. It says, My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, right? We got to know that temptation is going to come, right? There's going to be distractions. There's going to be, and it's not going to be something that doesn't entice you, right? It's going to be something that really that you struggle with. For instance, somebody can't come to me and be like, "Hey, Yahweh, let's go, snort some coke." Man, I'm like, nah, because that doesn't entice me. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna pull me away. That's not happening, right? But now, let it be something else. And I ain't gonna go into what my own little individual vices is, but we all got something that'll make us be like, oh man, So you gotta prepare your soul for that temptation, right? You gotta get your mind right and understand, once you in this truth, once you rocking in this truth, right, that things are gonna come, right, to knock you off, and to see is you really about what you saying you about, and really the test is for yourself. The test is for you, Israel, to say, you know what, I really do love Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. I'm really into this. Because you know what? I know back in the days, this used to, really get me to go off. But now I've gotten to a point to where that temptation, it ain't phasing me no more. And how we get there, we build ourselves up in this word. We build ourselves up in this book. So we got to choose life, right? Choose life or choose death, right? So what is life? What is death? Let's get it. Baruch 4:1. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. All that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Right? So the commandments of the Most High, right? What he has given us, what he has told us, right? We got to stay in it. We got to walk in it. Because as long as we walking in it, right, that's when we come to life. Once we leave it, right, that's when we die. We got to stay committed. We got to stay grounded. We got to stay in this word. We got to teach our children diligently, right? We got to stay in it. Because as soon as, when the enemy is looking for a crack, right, looking for a time when he can get in there. And when you aren't on your job, when you aren't in this book, right, that's when the enemy is going to find his way in there. Right? So we got to stay in it. We got to make sure we're studying. We got to make sure that we're reading, we're fasting, we're praying. Man, this is real. Everything that we're going through is real. Your brothers and sisters is going through things. Israel, Yasharallah is going through things. Right? And it seems like it's just ramping up every day. So this lesson is just Israel, just again to remind us that we got to separate from all the folly, all the foolishness that goes on in the world. Right? I want to get another precept. Wisdom of Solomon. The book of Wisdom of Solomon. And I'm going to get chapter 2. Chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 23. It says, For God created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. Right? So we gotta choose. We gotta choose, man, to stay away, to stay out, to separate ourselves from everything, that is not about Yahweh by Hashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Right? We got to separate it from it. Right? Because through envy of the world, through envy of the Salakia, through envy of the devil, came death into the world. Because we was looking at all these other nations. We was looking at what they were doing. It was like, man, that looked like fun, right? And again, the enemy, man, is clever. He'll use something that you love to get at you, right? To break you down, right? To get you to fall back, right? We look at, King Solomon, his weakness, having all those wives, and all those wives brought in all wives from other nations. You know what I'm saying? Got that brother to go off, man. We got to separate. We got to separate ourselves from the foolishness, right? From all these folly days that they got, right? We just had one that just passed. That October 31st, that day that they celebrate. I had family members, old friends, that's like, oh, what you doing? I ain't doing nothing. I don't recognize that day. And they was telling me about what they was doing. Oh, in this one town they got trick-or-treating for adults. You can go and you can get a shot, and while your kids are getting candy, they got Jello shots for the adults. I mean, just madness. And then we got another one of these folly days coming around. Snakesgiving. So Israel, we gotta separate. We can't be envious of what these other nations are doing. And us that got kids in this truth, when we wasn't raised in this truth, and we wasn't raising our kids in this truth, don't let your kids get you out of the mindset that, maybe just it's just a little, it's not gonna hurt. No, Israel, we gotta stay solid, right? And we gotta keep putting in the work. Right, and with that, I'm going to yield again. This is Yahweh, Sons of Thunder, Israelites. Romans 10:1. It is our heart's prayer and desire that all Israel might be saved. Israel, let's keep doing the work. Let's stay rooted. Let's stay 10 toes down, and let's get at it. All right, Shalom.